everybody, and welcome back. Sorry for the slight delay. Don was talking.
I did it.
And forgot he needed to start.
I did
so, yes, everyone blame Don.
Chirp, chirp.
Shush! Jeez. First, I wanted to show you guys this. This is from the latest Anita Goodesign. Isn't that pretty? These are the 8x8 hoops, and they come with, you make the binding. So I thought a pretty triptych like this would be really nice. Obviously, I still have to finish the outsides and everything. I think I like the zebra the best. I think this one is stunning for some reason. This guy's good, and I wanted to throw in a splash of color, so I did the middle. So that was a lot of fun. Underneath this is the color patterns, the fabric from my project bin that I'm going to use today. Also, we have a special guest here today. Can anyone guess who it is? It's Lynn!
Hello, everyone!
She enjoyed it so much, she said, "Can I come back again?" And I said, yes. Yes, you can, Lynn, of course. What would we do without Lynn? So this is how I'm going to set up the blocks today. There's a lot of applique going on, and I'm still using from the same pack. However, I'm going to admit defeat on that because I'm going to bring in this fabric. It's thin, but it's lovely for the backgrounds. I don't have enough light fabric where everything's going to show through like the writing. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to redo the last one because I think the back was a little busy. However, I am going to use the plaid for the heart with the yellow. So that's the only thing I'm going to add to it. So all the backgrounds will be this. And hopefully I can use one or more of these to bind it. So this is for the cupcake. So the bottom of the cupcake is going to be this. And the top will be that. And I decided to go a little bit dark for the back. And then this is the cherries, I think. The cherries and candy. Everyone loves candy. This block here, right here, that's for Cindy King because she really, really loves candy. So this block's for you. And then there's more. So we'll go through it. I'm just going to move everything because
you're going to show off your nails.
Oh, well, I have kind of groovy nails. This one is like a light blue shimmery. And this is a leopard print on it. And this is gold with a leopard print on it.
Nice.
Yeah, you should be able to see lots of groovy colors. Not sure why I did one hand one and the other hand the other, but I did. So there. And I didn't take the leopard print stuff back enough, like the stamp back enough, so it looks white and it looks weird. But live and learn. That's the first time I'd done that one. So shiny, sparkly, iridescent, wonderful. Did you say something?
Nope.
Were you going to say something?
Nope.
Okay. We
I know where I belong.
It's about time. How long has it taken? I don't think the Norseman's
I'm
there.
a slow learner.
I know, Don. So we're going to do lots of trimming and lots of applique. Cindy King says, "Yippee, yippee, I need candy." Thank you, Sue. She posts pictures of herself with candies. She likes to eat candies.
Shares.
She's a long way away.
Well, at least I share my candy when I come over.
Yes, hot tamales. How many did you buy, Lynn?
9 boxes.
9 boxes and shared. Cindy, who's saying that? Cindy West, poor Dawn. No.
Hey.
No.
I'm allowed to have people back me up.
No.
Yes. Thank you, Cindy.
You're allowed your man club.
My
But
man
no.
club's kind of scarce the last couple weeks.
Well, that's just too bad. So sad. Sucks to be you. Didn't we used to say that in the 80s?
Yes,
yeah.
we did.
Too bad. And you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. My kids did not find that
The
humorous.
Norseman will be here soon.
All right. Protection. All right. So we are going to go to McDreamy. But before we go, don't go yet, Don. It's a different view, and I'll explain why. So now let's go over to McDreamy.
McDreamy's up.
Okay, so a little bit of a different view because we haven't quite, not 100% fixed the thread coming out problem. But this should be good. I have more room to thread. I'm not going to bump you guys. But what we discovered is Schmet's embroidery needles are the one to use on this machine. I ordered some on Amazon. So Schmet's Embroidery 7511. Today I'm going to be using the 9014s because we only had one 7511 and I broke it after 10 stitches.
You broke the only one I could find for you.
I know. I know. I said a few new words. But anyways, so we're going to try that. I stitched out the first step because we were testing the camera. Hopefully this is good for you guys. We could tweak the view a little bit, but I really like it for me. It's easier for me. So I stitched out the placement stitch already because we wanted to see how it looked. As always, I'm using a darker color. Don't use a darker color. I'm doing it so you guys can see. And I trimmed down the stabilizer so you guys can see.
We have new people asking what machine you're using.
Oh, McDreamy is a Brother Dream Machine 2, and he's affectionately named McDreamy. So I'm just putting down the batting. And then the next step is we're going to stitch down the batting. So why don't we do that? So is everyone ready for all this applique? It's applique heavy. It's awesome. You can tell me, Dawn, if there's any real camera problems. I'm not going to change it, but
That's good so far.
it's so much
It's good.
it's so much easier for me. How's the lighting? It still looks dark on my iPad.
No, you're good.
Alright, well,
Lighting's good.
this would make me happy, so you can you see the McDreamy writing? Maybe.
Just on the corner.
That's cool. 'Cause
Bobbin squad, have you checked?
yes, I checked. Thank you very much. I have a full bobbin. Because I broke a needle yesterday, so it has to be a full bobbin. You know how that is. So we're going to trim this. So let's go back to the desk, Dawn. Why is there a third one? Oh, maybe it's a smaller one.
What stabilizer are you using?
No-show mesh cutaway. You can use any cutaway. I like the mesh because it's soft. Did you know that, Lynn?
No, I
It's
didn't.
very soft. And the batting I'm using is the Warm and Natural higher end, and it's gorgeous for making anything. Oh, you did put it back to the desk. Oops.
Yes.
I know. Then I forgot. Sorry about that.
Yay, the Norseman's here.
Yay, Norseman. So,
Hey,
we're
be
gonna...
nice. He's my friend.
Stop laughing, Dawn. Dawn!
What?
Stop laughing! We're serious about embroidery here, seriously.
We're having a great time.
Well, shush.
No.
Dawn.
Uh,
Dawn. Really? Dawn the zombie? You got a case of the giggles, you fruit? Do you? Yeah, he's still giggling.
He's still giggling.
I'm sorry, listening to the delay. It was funny the second time, too.
Oh. Wow.
Goofball.
It was funny the second time. Yeah, if he wheezes and coughs, then it's really funny. I used to make him say something funny and make him spit out his coffee every day. Like, yes, it's going to be a good day. And he's like, wow, Sue, really? Yeah. Yeah, really. All right, back to McDreamy. I trimmed Not so carefully, but it'll be okay, I promise. So back to McDreamy, Don.
Okay, McDreamy is up.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, every single square here has applique, and we're not doing flipped fabric, we're doing applique. So, oh, we're just stitching it down again. Alright, that's fine. I did, oh, you know what, I went it back right to the beginnings. So, this is the one. When I was playing around with it, I put it back too far. I could have skipped the first one. But I didn't, and I didn't pay attention because Dawn was giggling.
Laughing too hard.
Yes, yes, so I just got things a bit mixed up. Thank you, Karina. Hi, Karina, by the way. Hello, hello. Karina's awesome. Ooh, all of our mods are awesome, as usual. I'll say thank you to all our mods. You guys rock. Couldn't do any of it without you guys. Okay, there we go. So what's the next step? All right, next step is placement for the top left corner. So what was going to be on the top left corner? Oh, my faves.
There's a new one for the man crew.
Who?
Scott Fisher.
Oh,
Man crew.
Man
Yay.
Crew. Great. Now they're all going to think they're special.
We are special.
Okay, so our first piece is going to be this plaid. Now, when you're putting it in here, we have no seam allowance. Can you see that? So you need to leave the fabric over even just enough to touch the hoop or further, depending on what size. And you have to do it around these two, or else you're going to have a hard time sewing it together. So I am going to put it there. Oh, I have more than enough room. And then I have a nice seam allowance on it, and we're not going to cut the edges off. So let's stitch this guy down. I just have my burgundy thread in. Oh, my puffy hands are still in front of the camera. I was trying to avoid that. I'll have to be more careful. Ooh,
Oh,
Ooh.
that looks so nice.
it's pretty, isn't it?
I love it.
So I may cut these on McDreamy because I don't have to cut it all the way around. Then you guys can see. But let me just check where it goes to next. It's going to go to the bottom here. So maybe a little difficult to reach. Yeah, maybe just a little difficult. So I'm still in camera, Dawn? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to carefully trim this, and I'm going to go straight to the edge so we leave that seam allowance. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be, you know, anything. And we're going to do the same thing on here because we also want a seam allowance. I could have left a little bit more on the top there. So just carefully, there we go. Good enough. Nice light there. And now we're going to do the bottom left. And it's just squares, so it's going to look good. And course placement first. I guess that the squares were around 3 by 3. I think they're a little bit smaller, but that's how I cut out my scraps. Okay. Okay, so same thing. You want the seam allowance here and here. So make sure you leave enough over everything. So that should be good. That one's a little bit bigger, but, you know, bigger works. You just don't want to short out your seam allowance. It's really hard to sew it otherwise, and I tend to make a mess. Oh, a bit of chicken. Helen's like, ooh.
Just.
Did you iron your fabric?
I'd like to say yes. Is that a good answer?
I just wondered.
Did you hear me iron it, Dawn?
I did.
Okay, then I did. Blame Dawn. So now remember, ooh, that's close. Look at that. Applique chicken, I won. I won!
One for Sue.
One for Sue.
Well, in retrospect, I should have placed the fabric better, but hey, who's counting? For sure. So I'm going to trim it. And trim these ones really carefully because we're not doing folded fabric. We're just going to overlap it just a little bit and then do some fancy stitches on it. So we can square it up and trim it up and make sure it's all even at the bottom. Okay, so the next one is, what's all that noise, Don?
It's me. Sorry.
So, one more block, and this is going to be a bright burgundy flower one. So, same thing again. I think this is a really pretty way of doing it. Brings everything together on the design. So, this middle one overlaps a little bit so you can have nice edges. So, we're going to do this. And we have more than enough. Should be good. Now this one I'm going to cut more carefully. So cool. I am loving this project. I think everything is turning out really pretty. I could have fussy cut that a little bit better, but I didn't. Looks good.
I love the colors.
Yeah, it's really nice. Dawn, can we go back to the desk? Okay, do your dance. Sorry.
Oops.
Desk is up.
Okay, I gotta fix McDreamy here. The camera moved just as you were going to the desk. Whoops, we're gonna have to play with that. Something's not tight enough. Okay, so at the desk, I'm going to make sure that these, we're going to cut this one, and we're going to cut this one and this one. I'm going to make sure they're really nicely done because it's basically a raw edge applique. So we don't want stuff sticking out. Don't forget your seam allowance. We don't want anything sticking out as much as possible. The neater you do it, the more it will be covered up by the fancy stitches. Dawn, how does the view look on McDreamy right now?
What I can see looks okay.
Okay, I fixed it then. It happens. All right, back to the man McDreamy. Oh, he's still complaining that I took the lever on the hoop and moved it. All right, so the next one we're going to do is the middle. So there's a lot of applique, but look how good they look together. You can also do this as a scrappy quilt. So all the little pieces that you have, you can do that. I like how it overlaps right there. So you could hack these out, or if you did hack the first ones out, it's not going to look bad or anything. Looks good.
So McDreamy always outlines everything first.
That is digitizing for applique. So it's set up on the computer that way. But yes, the proper way to do it. So you know where to put your fabric. Because otherwise, you know, you might miss it.
You're playing a lot of chicken today.
I know. I didn't mean to. Look, I've got all this extra. Why didn't I move it over? Inquiring minds want to know. Darn it all. Well, it just made it, and I'm not picking it out. So, yeah, in applique, there's 3 parts to it. The placement, so you actually know where to put your fabric. And then a tack down. I prefer, these ones are all just you know, a running stitch tack down. I prefer a zigzag stitch. And for me, it holds all the edges better. And then a satin stitch is the last step. And that is the final part, the covering stitches, so you can not see the edges. So then there's different kinds of applique, and one of the kinds I really like is raw edge applique. So there's no satin stitches in it anywhere, which is cool. It's fancy stitches, pretty stitches, that sort of thing. It's kind of neat. There we go, our last small one, and this is going to be our bigger one. So again, stitch it down, it overlaps, and looks great. Now this fabric is the same as the bottom corner fabric, just in different colors, and that's what I really, really like about using layer cake. You can do stuff like that and it looks great. So remember seam allowance. I'm going to turn it because I don't think I would have had enough seam allowance. You want seam allowance on the top and on the bottom. And now is not a good time to play chicken, so make sure you're covered. What, Lynn? Lynn's laughing at me. There we go. Do you want to do one? No? Okay. Too much. This is going to be our cupcake.
Maybe when I'm off camera.
Okay. We can do something fun. Okay, so that is stitched down. I like the dark. I haven't incorporated enough dark colors, I don't think. So I'm going to trim this at McDreamy. That's something I don't normally do, but today is a day. Are you not? Okay, he's up for the next one. So we've got one more to make the block. And remember, you're not cutting here or here, so it's only 2 quick cuts. And if you're more comfortable at the desk, do it at the desk, because we want everything to look really good. But always take your time trimming. If you pre-cut your fabrics, it'll take less time at the machine. But, of course, more time when you're not in front of the machine. So some people like to pre-cut. Some people like to cut it at the machine, or like me on the desk. None is better than the other. It's just your personal preference. That's it. So I like to do both. If I'm using AccuQuilt, of course, I will pre-cut them because that's far too easy with an AccuQuilt. What? No, it's okay.
Cindy King became a grandmother again on Tuesday.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
A little boy. I didn't hear the name though. What's the name, Cindy?
It's here, doesn't matter.
The burgundy thread really stands out on that dark background.
Yeah, you don't really want it to. Would have been better to use black or whatever, but everything should be covered up. And I kind of figured if it isn't, then that's okay too, because it's all the colors, the same colors I've been using.
Serenity Jolene King.
Serenity, that's pretty, isn't it? Well, congratulations.
Granddaughter.
Did I say boy?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I forgot it.
It happens.
It does.
It's all good.
We don't have any grandbabies yet, and we're not pushing anybody.
No.
No, B's got to finish school, and seriously? Okay, I can't get away with this one. So, we're going to have to fix it. My laziness. Back to the desk, Dawn. Whoops. Put your needle up first, and your needle up first.
Desk is up.
And do a trim. Okay, just a sec. wants the foot down. I messed up. I made a mistake, so we're gonna have to fix it. So trim McDreamy. I'll be right there. I'll be right there, desk. Okay. So, if you ever lose your game of chicken, here's what you have to do. I can't do anything about that. See how far off I was? And then I was off here. If it was just this one, I think I would let it go.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's why I don't ever do stuff at the machine, because it's harder to see. But it didn't stitch the whole thing, so we'll just grab your stitch ripper and carefully do it. The only thing is with the stitch ripper is you don't want to pull too hard. You want to be gentle with it, because we do not want our stabilizer to move. But if you do it right, it's easy. See? To me, for a big boo-boo like that, this is worth it. If you accidentally rip the fabric, then just, get another piece. But hopefully, try not to catch into the batting. That would be the only really bad thing. Okay, I think I cut the fabric there. It is okay. I have more. So yeah, don't let little boo-boos get you. Just take your time. And this is an easy fix. If you do something, like if it was satin stitches that you did wrong or in the wrong place, or I can't imagine what it would be, I wouldn't take those out. But this is only a running stitch and it's only halfway, so I'm gonna do it. Because I like how this one's coming along. There we go. Look, see how fast that was?
It looks like a patchwork quilt or something.
Almost, yeah. There's
right now, anyway.
a couple of blocks like that. Well, we're gonna do the stitches as well, Dawn. There's some candle wicking and some designs like that.
Nice.
So yeah, boo-boo, it happens. Just always take your time. And like I said, this is just a running stitch. This is not going to take much time to do. That actually missed the fabric completely, so that part was my favorite part.
Oh, so
So-
you're taking the fabric off.
Yes, because it wasn't over enough and it would show. So let's do this again. So this is the line I'm going for. I think maybe I was looking at that one, but this is overlapped, so we want that overlapped. And then we're not gonna have much of, that might be better. We're not gonna have enough of a seam allowance. How about this? So it's this line, the overlap. That may work better. We're not having much of a seam allowance there. So just a little bit fiddly. Just give me a sec to figure it out. That's good enough. If you can get 1/4 of an inch out of it, that's good enough. And make sure you're looking at the right lines. So we're there and we got it there. So, okay, and that's how this one's gonna go down. Back to the machine, Dawn. Quick fix.
Victory's up.
Yeah, so I didn't have coverage. And because it's black, it shows up too much. So I don't always fix the boo-boos because sometimes I know they're going to get covered up with something else. Just not in this case. It would show too much. Okay, that's enough. It's a little bit close for that, but as long as you have some seam allowance, you'll be okay. So, problem solved, never happened. That's what I'm saying.
Easy fix.
Easy fix, and
Learn from your mistakes.
yep.
Keith says, how's that bobbin? A number of folks have asked.
How's my bobbin?
Yeah.
How's yours?
Mine's fine.
You got a good bobbin,
I
Dawn?
do.
I'm just gonna take it off. Yeah, it's still pretty full. We haven't stitched a whole lot yet, believe it or not. But thank you so much for asking. How's your bobbin, Lynn? You don't have a bobbin.
I don't have a bobbin.
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know what that means either, Lynn. Just so you know. So remember, you're not cutting here and you're not cutting here because we want to leave that fabric so we can have a nice block. So that's the last of our piecing. Now we have stitching to do, and we also have one more actual applique. That's the cupcake, which is really cute. There we go. We're leaving all that. So I managed it. There's a little few stitches in there, but I will.
They're saying you need to buy a machine so you can have a bobbin.
I think it would be a lot of fun, don't you, Lynn?
I think next Sunday I'll come over just with a bobbin.
Just with a bobbin. Nice. What is this stitching? It says a light color. Maybe the egg? Oh, I think it's doing the designs. I can't see it on McDreamy, the background. Let's see. I'm going to leave it this burgundy because I'm pretty sure it's the decorative lines. And I want it in the burgundy. It is. Okay. Phew. Phew! They have them in the design on white, but I don't want that. Oh, look at that. Don't ever do that, Lynn. I could have done a better job of trimming, but that's okay. It's going to give it a homemade look. Don't put your scissors in with your machine, please.
I saw that.
Well, I hope so. It's on like 2 widescreen monitors. That just adds to it. I think that's pretty. So, what do you think of the colors, Lynn?
I like the colors.
They're bright and dark and busy and not so busy. I always think this one is the same as the bottom corner one, but this one looks like eyeballs to me because all you can see is the green. So,
Little red dots in there.
why would I do that?
Because it'd be fun.
Funny to...
Look more like eyeballs.
You look more like eyeballs. So, I think I'm going to change this color. That's the second time I've bopped that around. I'm going to change it to the beautiful light colored yellow that we have.
Ooh.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one.
I like that color.
Yeah, it looks fantastic with the burgundy, and then I think it's going to stitch a flower next, and I want the flower to be yellow because I think yellow flowers are pretty. Oh, that makes it a little more awkward, doesn't it? Just for that part. So it's going to do some fancy stitches here, which is great. Everything okay in the chat, Dawn? Oh yeah, I like that. That's just the perfect color of yellow.
It is.
And it always just sticks in my project bin so I don't have to go search and rescue for any of them. So what that does, this is the fancy stuff instead of a satin stitch for it. It's just doing fancy stitches.
Okay.
So if you're really terrible, woohoo, right there, really terrible at trimming, it's going to show through, right? So it's kind of crazy quilting, kind of just, it's cute. I like it. I like the black and the flowers too. I wish there was that many pieces of each one. That would be cute. What's next? I'm sticking with the yellow because I really like it. You can change the colors on the fancy stitches as much as you want. I'm really fond of the yellow. Chris Yost, thank you very much. I just see that there. I can't really see what's going on in the chat. Are we having a nice chat, Dawn? Oh, I thought this was candle wicking. I guess it's just light candle wicking. It's good though. So, what do you think so far, Don?
I like it.
The view isn't the greatest when we're at the bottom stitching, but that's okay.
Well, it can't be good all the time.
Well, I think it's pretty good. It works for me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just maybe needed a break of the camera in front of me.
It's a nice look.
It's a nice look. Yeah. It's kind of just off sideways a little bit, but you can see the hoop. You can see that everything's going on. I like it. A little hard when setting up on a multi-needle machine. You have to have all your colors picked out. Yep, but if you have a project bin, you just have to change out the colors rather than changing them one at a time.
It's actually easier on the multi-meter because you can get it all set up and not worry about it.
Well, but you have to change all your threads and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, true enough.
All right, we are doing the applique, and I am going to leave it yellow again. I don't want everything in yellow, but look how pretty.
That's very pretty.
Yeah, I love how it stands out. And I think it'll stand out on the cupcake as well.
Janet Nelson says 7 blocks complete. I'm learning. Thank you.
Great. I hope you posted them in the OML Embroidery University Facebook group as well so everyone can see. I know there was a couple of them that had been finished, which is fine. All different colors, all different ideas, and they look great. So, okay, this is the bottom of the cupcake. And I thought it would be neat to have this fabric matching one in there. Plus I had a scrap that was the perfect size, so wowie. Oh, phew. I was a little worried there for a sec. What?
You're playing a lot of chicken.
No, I don't mean to. That wasn't really. Can we go back to the desk, Don?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take any chances trimming anymore. So we'll have to find you a pair of these, Lynn.
Duck bill scissors.
Duck Bill. Yeah, his name is Bill. He's a duck bill. I don't think Duck is a name, so I'll call him William. William the scissors. I use them all the time. So I'm going to stop trimming at McDreamy because I made some messes. So I'm going to do what I'm good at, and that's at the desk and make some perfect cuts. I just find it easier to turn it around. If you had a cutting mat that turns, that would be even better. So you could just kind of, put it there and turn it without picking up the hoop. Always be careful trimming. You don't want to move anything. You don't want to aggressively trim. You want to nicely trim. And I'm just going to trim this part down. I don't think it'll matter because I'm pretty sure that the top of the cupcake, which is going to be in this fabric, goes over it. So, okay, loving that.
Love it.
Love it. And the highlights are going to be in the yellow. Mm-hmm. Back to McDreamy, Don.
Dreamy's up.
Thank you. Okay, so we're not doing the second applique yet. It's going to do some of the detail work on the cupcake.
I like the candle wicking on the other techniques.
I love candle wicking. It's such a nice design, and it's fun to watch because it just kind of spins around. It does a stitch, and then over and over, and it looks like the old-fashioned stitching.
Is that just an E-stitch it's doing there?
I
think so.
Kind of. I think
Similar?
it's two of them put together.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. They tend to, at Anita Goodesign, make their own stitches.
It looks so different in person, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one thing to see it on camera when it needs to. That's why every once in a while I'll get over.
Or I tell you to come up and look.
They get a really good view with the overhead cam on the desk, they can see it much better and you get that perspective. But when it's on the machine, it's sometimes hard to tell.
Yeah, you get a little bit
Looks
of a
really
glare.
good, though. I like it.
So far my favorite thing in the entire world is that red plaid with the yellow. It stands out more than I thought it would. Isn't that gorgeous? That's like the heart we did the other day, last week. Oh, I hope everyone had, if you were celebrating a wonderful 4th of July. We hung out with Lynn. We're Canadian, so we didn't celebrate it. We had movie night, and what did we do for the rest of the day? Not a whole lot. Got caught up on work stuff. I tried to work on Wednesday's digitizing class, and I came up with Bubkiss, so I decided to do it another day. Not today. Today is not that day. Mondays I usually get inspired, but I have some ideas, so we'll be working on that. That looks like
Wow.
awesome. It's fun when you find color combinations that work. Like, would you ever thought of burgundy and black
No.
working so well with yellow?
Sharon says that we were missed yesterday.
Aw, we missed you guys too. It was kind of weird.
I didn't know what to do.
Lynn didn't know what to do. We kind of got up a little bit later and felt we have so much to do. And then Dawn says, no, we don't. I'm like, oh. So I sat there for a little while. So we missed you guys too. It's not easy for us either.
It's different when you're in a routine.
Yeah, it won't happen very often. But we just thought, everyone needs a break, right? I'm going to stick with the yellow to finish off this guy.
Oh, that makes me want to eat the cupcake.
It would be kind of
Might not
fabric-y.
It might not taste very good.
No, probably not.
It's a little bit of fabric-y. I made a beautiful corner flower design just from learning from your digitizing classes. Thank you. Margarita, that's fantastic. I'm glad people are learning. That makes me so happy. Happy stitchers is what I'm going for. So congratulations on that. So Dawn, back to the desk one more time.
Can you read that one that's on the screen there on your chat?
Sweetie, I just did.
Oh, I missed. All right. Sorry.
Desk?
Never mind.
Desk?
No.
Desk?
Desk is up.
Thank you. What was he yakking about, Lynn? I couldn't hear anything.
I got you in one ear, and the other one is you're in that ear too, but delayed. So
I wish I could swear, because I think that would be funny, swearing, and you'd kind of hear me and say, oh my god, did she just swear? And then you get the audio streamed, and you'll know that I swore.
Unless I miss it,
Oh, I don't think you'll miss it.
I might.
He misses a lot of things. He does. Okay, I think my cupcake looks almost royal,
Ooh,
doesn't it?
It's a royal.
This shows
royal
through
cupcake.
a little bit. Dairy Queen.
Mmm.
Norseman says cupcake and coffee.
Cupcake and coffee.
Sounds good.
Is
Oh.
that a good combination?
We don't have
Yeah.
any cupcakes though. I think there's brownies. So there's brownie and coffee.
Oh, I don't do
Dawn.
coffee.
Back to the machine, Dawn? I don't do coffee either.
Machine's up.
Okay, so I think this is just going to do a little fancy stitch around it. I'm going to leave it yellow.
Karina says vanilla cream cupcake.
Ooh.
Vanilla cream cupcakes.
I'm gonna go home and make cupcakes now.
Oh, I'll come over later. How long will it take you?
About an hour, start to finish.
I'll send Dawn over.
Okay.
I don't go outside yet. Getting there, but not yet. Now this is what it's stitching now, Dawn, is a blanket stitch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. It's just like on one side, basically, that it goes in.
That's what I was thinking when I said.
Yeah. Oh, there's different forms of blanket stitch or E-stitch or whatever everyone calls them.
Is an E-stitch the same thing as a blanket stitch?
Depends what software you're using.
Okay.
But I do like that a lot. Oh, and there's a place for a button at the top. So I'm not going to stitch it. I'm going to put a button there. Because I think that's really cute at the top of it instead of a cherry. I think that's really cute.
She says you need some sprinkles.
Sprinkles. Anyone else hungry? Lynn, are you gonna go out to Dairy Queen after? Lynn?
I have sprinkles at home.
Oh, what are you gonna sprinkle?
The cupcakes.
Oh, I'm in.
I think I have
Now
stars.
she's really gonna go home and
Oh,
make
yeah.
cupcakes.
You're funny, Lynn. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the detail work. So I'll have a little bit more time to look at the chat, although everybody should be monitoring it. I'm going to use my yellow again, so I'm not going to put it away. Now I'm going to take, I think, the darker green for the leaf. And I haven't decided if I should use a really bright red or stick to the burgundies. Maybe.
Chris Yo says I should have eaten lunch before this. Apparently we're making everyone hungry.
I'm pretty sure it's just Lynn.
Sorry.
Lynn did it.
I did it.
Pretty sure it's just Lynn. Pretty sure. Just saying, Lynn. It might not be.
I don't know. They're carrying on in the chat too. So.
About food they want to eat?
About cupcakes.
I'm not sure I actually like cupcakes.
Oh, you haven't had my cupcakes.
Okay, no, I haven't, but I'm not really supposed to eat food that can... Yeah, I know. I did. She's got to feel loved in our house, right? If you don't get blamed for something, we don't really care for you. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
I make my cupcakes from scratch.
Yeah.
And the icing.
I just find the icing too much. Most people put way too much. Too much.
And then I throw the colorful sprinkles on top.
But it's pretty.
They are pretty.
So, do you decorate them?
No.
Thanks for your time with us this afternoon. P.S. My husband was very sad not to hear McDreamy yesterday morning. Aw.
Husband.
I know. Apologies to everyone. We just didn't think anyone would watch it because there's big celebrations for the 4th of July. Oh, Judy Quilt. Thank you, Judy Quilt. I read it, but I didn't see Judy Quilt's name, so there we go. All right, so we're going to do the candy, and hopefully I skip the button. So what colors are we going to do for the candy? Oh, it's starting with the button, so that'll make it easier. And we're doing it on this square. Well, I don't see why we can't do yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah. Yellow for the outside of the candy. There's two different colors. Okay, yellow is back on. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is there's a spot that didn't get all the fancy stitching. And I'm going to put a button there instead of stitching out a button. So, I mean, you can stitch it out if you want, but I'm just going to move ahead on McDreamy so that it doesn't stitch it out. And right after that, with the same color, is part of the candies. So I'm focusing on the candies, the middle one, middle left side. Really happy with my cupcake. He's awesome.
Oh, he cuts the thread too.
Yes. Yes.
I always wondered how that happened.
Yep. Yep. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go by 100. You can see where it's moving. So probably not too many more of those. Maybe, though.
Cindy King says, I thought Dairy Queen was only in Texas.
Oh no.
Isn't it Canadian?
It could be a different Dairy Queen. There's that possibility, too.
We grew up with Dairy Queen. That was like the biggest treat ever.
Janet Nelson says it's everywhere.
Yep. I know it's in Port Huron.
Yeah, does anyone know where it actually started?
No.
So I'm going back. I hit too many, so I'm going back a little bit. A little bit more than that. Till... Okay, now. Plus a few, and we're good now. Okay. It's important you get it in the right spot. It only takes a minute, but it's important you get it in the right spot. I think the yellow is going to be the highlight of this block. For sure. And then there's a star. I guess we could do the star yellow and the circle part of the candy. We can do... I don't know. I don't know if green candy. Maybe green candy.
Could be.
I'm thinking. Okay, yep, the yellow looks great. We can do the whole thing in yellow. We've got a flower to do and a couple of eggs and the word yum.
Eggs?
Words. Yeah. Yeah, they're eggs.
Oh.
That made the cupcake.
Oh.
And it's a cherry cupcake with candies, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Or it's with that. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. I could be. DQ blizzards are the best. Yes. Dairy Queen came to Canada in 1953. Man, our group's on the ball. They all went and looked it up.
Oh no.
They're just carrying on.
Good.
It's, you know what? It's good. Learn something new every day. Now I know when Dairy Queen came to Canada. Now I know our American friends also have Dairy Queen.
So when we go meet everybody in Vegas, maybe we can find a Dairy Queen.
I think someone better write that down. I don't know if you heard Donnie said, when we all go to Vegas, we can go to Dairy Queen. So I think that would be really fun. So we'll have an itinerary. Get there, say hi, Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen first. Yep.
I'm sure we'll come up with different things we can do.
And we all have to have our t-shirts.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make t-shirts.
They're asking about, I've had it with a group, two people are asking about any kind of a coupon code or affiliate code for Anita Goodesign.
Well, there's coupon codes that Anita Goodesign provide, but there's nothing specifically for me, and which I really appreciate you guys asking. What you can do is there's a place when you're ordering for instructions, and you can just say omlembroidery or Sue Brown or both sent me. And they'll just notice. Someone will see, why are there so many with this on it? But when I see the new discount codes, I let you guys know in both groups, the Anita Goodesign Fanatics and OML Embroidery University Facebook group.
And when they start doing the coupon codes specifically for the projects you're doing,
Yeah.
then
No, it's not an affiliate code.
no, it's not an affiliate code. Then they'll know that it's you.
Yes.
That's all.
I don't know if you could hear Dawn, but I have spoken with Anita Goodesign, and our project stitch outs that we're doing, we'll be able to get some kind of a code for them, and then they will know that it's me, because they'll see how many times the code's been used, and if we use it enough, maybe they'll give us more of a discount. It'll only be on one whatever item we decide to do. So I think it's fun. I think we can stitch the stuff out for years to come. For example, even without the discount, this was $10.
Oh, that's a good price.
That's a good price. That's $1 a quilt square. You can't beat that anywhere. The OML gang t-shirts are great. I know people have been buying them, and I think that's
I
fantastic.
want to see pictures.
Yeah, yeah. Cindy King bought one with the dash hound, and she's posted pictures of her wearing it a couple times. But yeah, we'll have to have. I don't want to say gang shirts because it sounds terrible. We have to have our gang shirts and markings, right? We'll have to do something like this for our plan. Might have to wait a little bit, but everybody can kind of keep that at the back of their minds. And we'll do it. And we can also have, get a conference room and have a Q&A, that sort of thing. Obviously, I'm not bringing McDreamy. He stays where he is, but we can talk about different things. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions.
Sarah says we need a bandana.
Well, you need to wear a mask anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, okay, we could do that. We could stitch up bandana. I don't know. I've never been a gang member, so
OML.
yeah, tattooed on our face. They do that. It's so horrifying.
Norseman says we need Dawn Crew shirts too.
No, we don't.
Yes.
No, we don't.
Actually, yes, because we're gonna need the crew when we get off the airplane. Somebody needs to carry our luggage.
Oh, they do it all for you in Vegas.
Oh,
Have you ever been to Vegas?
No.
Oh, they take by the time you get up to your room, your luggage is in your room.
oh.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I need somebody to carry my souvenirs.
We can use them.
We want Dawn Crew shirts.
We'll consider it. Why can't it be the Norseman crew?
Because he said Dawn Crew.
He's being nice. We could do how about the raspberry grape? Did you ever see that picture? We used to do challenges for people in the group, and the people who won the challenge would get their design up on the cover of the book, of the group. And Dawn did one, and it was called Grape-a-Raz, and it Mr. Grape-a-Raz, and it was a grape inside a raspberry, so the grape had a red beard like him.
I get it.
Yeah.
That would be nifty.
And that was so much fun, that challenge. I did another challenge with Don and his micro stuff, and it was a teeny weeny little face, and sew it on someplace like that you chicken sew it, right? Some people did collars, some people did it on a sock, and it was like, yeah, it's a challenge. I'm always telling embroiderers, challenge yourself. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not so much in the chicken, because then you have to pick it out, but in other ways, don't be afraid to try, because you can do it.
Norseman says, have you seen Wild Hogs? That's the old movie would be like.
Wild hogs. Isn't that the old fogies riding motorcycles?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and the one that keeps crashing. That's actually hilarious. And the embroidery work on their patch is fantastic, because when we watch movies, we look at the embroidery. For sure. Yeah, that's really funny. That's really funny. Have you ever seen that one, Wild Hogs?
No.
They're going through their midlife crisis, and they decided they want to be a biker gang, and it's a bunch of old guys. And then they get involved with a real biker gang, and they have a hard time. Yeah, we'll see if we can find it. It's just funny. So McDreamy's stitching away, good boy. So I'm gonna say, Dawn, that we've solved the problem of McDreamy losing his thread. So look up, if you're having that problem, look up in your manual to find out what Brother recommends for needles. I always thought the Oregon needles were fine. There is one kind, but McDreamy demands the best, and apparently the best is the Schmetz embroidery needles 7511. Yeah, it's much better. I actually stopped stitching yesterday because I was getting so frustrated. And it took me a little while to find the answer, and it took Dawn even longer to find the one that I broke in 10 seconds, but I did. I did. He's like, oh, I found one! And I put it in, and everything got caught up, and it wasn't the needle or the machine, it was what I was doing. I should have put tape on it, because McDreamy doesn't like that. And so we didn't really get to test that one out. Look at the pretty flower. Now, we are going to do an egg. So I didn't think I wanted an egg in the bright yellow. So I picked a very pale yellow, which it's adding to the project bin, but I thought it goes along with everything. Could have made like Easter eggs, maybe.
Ooh.
That'd be
Colorful
cute.
eggs.
Oh, they're so much fun to do. Did I do that? Why? I did do it. Forgot to take the one thread out. There's your problem. That would have been a mess. There we go. So now we are stitching out half an egg. In the pale, it's not as bright as this. It's a lot... It almost looks white, but it's not. It's going to have white right beside it, so... And then we're going to have yum, and then we're going to finish the cherries, and then we're going to be done. How cool is that? This is one of my favorite blocks. I kind of like it.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a couple ones like this with butterflies and different things
The
on
flower almost looks like a daisy.
it. It almost does. Maybe I'll put a black button in the middle of it. And it could be a black-eyed Susan.
Black-eyed Susan.
Although I think their petals are white, but I don't remember. No, I think they're orange. I don't know. I have to steal my fabric. Oh, sneak my fabric in the house. Not me. I send Dawn to buy most of the fabric other than Blueprint. So that is, I forgot to tell you guys the other day, Blueprint is all the videos are going to stay around. I'm not sure if they're going to make more or if they're going to keep selling the fabrics and the quilting kits. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments because I'm really curious because that's where I like to get my fabric. And I did get an affiliate code for them, so that would have been really cool had they stuck around. But yeah, well, people like all the fabric I use is from that company. So your learning videos are safe. Your membership to watch any video, those are also safe. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed for the fabric and the kits because they were awesome. And the sales. This is the third time that it's switched too. So hopefully this will be better. Okay, I'm just moving my iPad so I can actually read it. I hope they do for you. Oh, what are we talking? Oh, we're talking about needles. If I buy more things, I'll have to buy a room from my next door neighbor. Yeah, I was kind of thinking Lynn's got a big, huge, empty room. That's her boy's den. I was thinking of taking that over. Maybe. I would actually like to buy next door and have a workhouse and a live house. Yeah. That would be really cool. The Norseman always says, I don't care if you spend money on fabric. Gotta love them. Keeper!
Mm-hmm.
Keeper!
Definitely keeper.
Can you imagine what people look at, how people look at Don when he goes in the fabric store with all the old ladies and
Exactly.
they're like, yeah, one of these things just doesn't belong here.
I give them a hard time, and they give me a hard time. Because we all know each other.
Oh, okay.
because he's there all the
Yep.
time. Well, we used to have a fabric land.
Yep.
That was kind of sad when that left. We needed a fabric land. There's not many places to buy fabric locally. I mean, we can drive an hour away, but I don't really want to do that.
It was nice when it was 5 minutes up the road.
It was lovely when it was 5 minutes up the road. There we go. Come on, gimme. All right, so now we're doing the other egg, which I am going to do in white. It should show up beautifully. We're almost done, so hopefully everyone's hanging in to see the final at the desk. How many people we at, Dawn?
284.
Nice.
Wow.
Is that cool?
Awesome job, guys.
Yep. That makes me very happy. That's a wonderful.
Make sure you hit that like button. We only have 80 likes, though.
Woo! Like it
Oh,
up, guys.
I even liked it when I signed in.
Show the love. That's all I can say. There we go. Having a hard time doing that. Darn camera. Always in my way.
Esther says you can't have that room at Lynn's house because she needs it for her embroidery.
Oh. Aw.
Well, I can have my upstairs spare bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I have a lot of room.
You do. I know. I used to, but then that happened. By that, I'm pointing at Dawn.
Anita Ritchie says her elegant with the dust and recommend for her cheap.
Oh, well, it depends what you want out of it. You guys all know that I adore McDreamy. I'm particularly fond of Brother machines, but a lot of other people, you know, they have their own opinions on them. Frankly, I haven't strayed from Brother because, you know, they just work. They're just fantastic machines. We have 7 of them, a couple of which have been stitching full tilt every day for 15 years. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and we just keep buying Brothers. I personally love McDreamy for a single needle machine, and Ragnar's a 10 needle PR1000E. So Baby Lock Destiny, yeah, Brother and Baby Lock are pretty close together. They have the same machines or similar machines and different names. If I could get a Luminaire, I would get a Luminaire, but I don't talk about it too much in front of McDreamy because he might get mad at me, so yeah. I love Brother and Baby Lock. I have a Stellaire XE1. I believe the Stellaire is the new version of the McDreamy, because they don't make McDreamies anymore.
Oh,
But
no?
Brother always does that because they put out a whole new big line in 2020, so they made a step up, but they want to like revamp everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the same as him, but just called something different. McDreamy without a camera and app based. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I think we should all have a Luminaire. Yeah, I know. Everybody.
No, that scares me.
Luminaire, that's a big guy, man.
Yeah, that scares me.
I'm used to looking at McDreamy, but if I take out my little Jerry Janome sewing machine, it's like, my goodness, it's a big machine. Goodness gracious. A Bernina? Yeah, I have never... I guess I've never been around a dealer that sells them, so I don't know about Bernina. I think they're good.
Brother was always readily available.
Yeah, it just happens to be... Oh, Vikings? Yeah. Yeah, it's just... We just stick with Brother. It just works for us for business and otherwise. Okay, I like the lighter yellow for the egg. And now we need some burgundy for the inside, the circle part of the treat. So I'm gonna go with this.
Oopsie.
I'll get after, or you can. Are you enjoying watching firsthand there, Lynn?
I am.
Thank you. It's fun to watch. We gotta ease Lynn into embroidery. Right, Lynn?
Yes.
I keep showing her, I explained to her about freestanding lace, which boggles the mind. However, it's fascinating. I made Lynn an Anita Goodesign Christmas decoration, and it's freestanding lace, and it says joy. And I used metallic thread, and I used it in the bobbin as well, and it is beautiful. I never imagined there'd ever be a day where we could stitch freestanding lace with. There is a website that I'm gonna have to show you, and they have, I think it's OESD, and they have a Christmas village that's all freestanding lace, and you build.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I had a Janome as my first embroidery. I didn't like it how it held the hoop. Yeah, I don't know. I think
Margarita asked if you'd ever had a Janome embroidery.
no, I have a Janome sewing machine. So when McDreamy's busy, I can still sew stuff. It's just on the lower end of the machine. It cuts the thread, but that's it. I did find that it didn't have the guts of...
Now they're all commenting about the village.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, I love the village. Lynn, you will love it. Yeah, I know. I've been looking at that, and I just think it's stunning. Like, it's... You know, you build the walls, you sew it together.
I couldn't figure out how you got it all together.
Oh, they give good instructions. Stitch what they tell you, put it together, how they... I've never seen it, but...
It is OESD.
Yeah, I know. If you're planning on buying a machine, not you, Lynn, anyone out there, don't really bother. If it's all you can afford, that's fine. You can work around it. But a 4x4, you're going to outgrow it quickly. 5x7, 8x8. I mean, that's fantastic. That's what you should be using. Oh, I'm going to skip this. Because
that's where the button goes.
I'm going to sew on a button. So I'm just going to skip it, and then we'll finish what I'm talking about. What they usually say is get the biggest hoop that you can afford, and it'll last you longer. Bells and whistles cost as well, but you have to think about what you are going to do with them, right?
You're very limited with the 4x4.
Too limited. They don't... Very rarely do they make the designs anymore for them. Oh, come on. I didn't want to hit the 100. It's hard to... It used to be, when all this started out 20 years ago, it used to be more important that... oh, why is it there?
That's the button on the cupcake, isn't it?
I don't know. Shouldn't be. Yeah, it's there. Oh. About... There we go. Just let me subtract a little bit.
Julie says, I agree. Look at the hoop sizes.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, if it's all you can do, you can find... McDreamy. You can find... designs, and you could split them. Like for this one, I mentioned to someone, you could do each of these squares in the embroidery, except for this one, you'd have to make it a bit smaller. You could do it separately, and you could sew them all together and make this square, but you're limited on a 4x4. All these years, how many years have I had McDreamy? Like 2? I keep the 4x4 hoop in a drawer because I don't use it.
It's still brand new.
Yeah, it's never been used. I just don't use it. So general idea, just get the biggest hoop that you can afford. One of the things I really, really like about Brother machines is that running them is just about the same on every one. So it's nothing different. And I think that's makes the learning curve. If you do one, you can do another. Even McDreamy is similar. The symbols, so what I'm saying is like the symbols for backtracking or skipping letters or skipping ahead are the same on each machine. Yum! That's what it's stitching. So I gotta sew on some buttons, which in sewing mode, McDreamy apparently does very well.
Nice.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna. Okay, we're almost done.
304 people.
What?
304 people.
Woo! Okay, well, that's a mistake, but I'm gonna let it go. Was I supposed to? I didn't think those two colors were attached. That's okay. It looks pretty. There's red leaves.
Yes.
What is it stitching there? Gonna have to go with nothing. I can't see it on McDreamy.
No, sometimes you don't always see the things on the screen.
Is there supposed to be like some egg yolk or something coming out of the egg?
It doesn't look like it. The mystery. Also, why you should have your iPad or print out the instructions. So then you'd know all of the color changes and you would be able to keep up with it. But la-di-da, I didn't, so I don't...
342 now.
342?
Wow.
Woo!
Just wasn't done.
Because it's almost done. 342 is a great number.
That's an awesome number.
Yep. I am gonna...
Wait, because we're at 350 now.
350? What's going... Somebody shared. That's awesome. Okay, then +1 or 2. I'm gonna let it stitch in red because I have no idea what it is. And it'll either look murderous or really cute.
Nisha says it's just the crack in the shell.
But there is a crack in the... Oh, in the shell. Oh. I'll be picking that out because that's like... no, I guess it's okay. That's kind of odd.
Different.
Cherries now. We're almost done. I'm loving this one so much. So much. One more color change. And that's it. I'm exhausted from all the color changes. So beautiful. So these are cherries. So all I have to do when this is done, all I have to do is sew on some buttons, which I am going to do on McDreamy. And I think my little Janome guy does it as well. But I think that would be something cool to learn.
Definitely.
For things like this, I think it would be cool to learn, and I don't know how to do it, so...
They're saying that your wallet might need to go on 3.
Just the front part of it, yeah, I noticed that. I was kind of deciding if I like it or not, but I'll show you guys how to fix it.
Then
I thought it looked alright, too. It just looks like kids writing. Just the serif on the top is missing.
Now,
Serif.
Can you sew the button? Can McDreamy sew the button as you're going along?
No, you have to
do that
you have to
separately.
change the foot, and you have to move it into sewing mode,
Okay.
and then do it separately.
Sarah says that when she
I like the color, yeah. And fresh cherries.
They almost look like cinnamon hearts.
Ha! You and your cinnamon? Really, McDreamy? We haven't been able to find hot tamales for how long? Months. Months.
3 months at least.
I can only imagine you in the store shouting because you found them. And then buying them all.
Well, I had to. I couldn't leave them for anybody else to have.
Well, no, I know.
Judy Quilt says I shared it with my Quilt Guild and I was impressed to see that Sandy shared it on 4 sites.
Oh,
Wow. That's great. Do you know how much that helps? Get it around? Okay, I'm having a threading issue. It's because of the camera. But let's do it again. Come on, McDreamy. Don't be dropping your threads, man. Finish your work. Maybe it was me. I'm not sure. It's Lynn. You knew I was going to blame you again.
I did.
Come on.
Okay.
You're not new.
Sarah's asking, what is a tamale?
Oh, they're cinnamon candies. You know the cinnamon hearts that you get?
Kind of like a jelly bean.
But it's in a jelly bean form.
And some people are saying they've never seen cinnamon hearts either. So.
No cinnamon hearts? They only come out on Valentine's Day. And they're little itty bitty candies that pack a good cinnamon punch. And they're delicious and also one of my favorites.
I think I like hot tamales better.
Yes.
I like them both. Because I really like cinnamon hearts too. But I think I like them.
Not in the UK. Well, they have different candies and treats in the UK.
They'll have to send me their address and I will mail them a box of hot tamales.
Yeah, you better be careful saying that. You can end up with like 300 people sending you an address.
Yeah. Never seen a cinnamon heart. Well, next Valentine's Day, we will buy some packs of them, and whoever wants to check them out and like cinnamon. Yeah. What is a tamale? What is a tamale? They want to know what a tamale is.
It's like a jelly bean, except it's just all completely cinnamon.
No, tamale is food, isn't it?
Oh, that's Mexican food, I think.
Yeah, well, that's
like
what
a
she's...
quesadilla.
Sorry, I don't know that.
No, Alexa, quiet.
She'll swear. She always does
Swear
that.
back at her.
She always does that, doesn't she?
How did she
Yeah.
get involved in our conversation?
She's nosy and listens when she shouldn't be.
Dawn mumbles and...
Or the other day when you come down to my office and were telling me something, and she just came on. I was like, really?
both kind of look at each other. Sometimes it scares you. It's like, geez. All right, last thread
The
change.
Norseman says we just have normal candy.
Normal candy. What, do we have abnormal Canadian candy?
Apparently. Or North American candy.
And we'll have to show them what Smarties are.
Americans, yeah, I know they don't have Smarties like we do. Smarties are good. They're like M&Ms.
And root beer.
They don't have root beer?
They don't have root beer.
Normal candy. I don't know. Oh, ask Alexa what a... Alexa, what is a tamale?
According to Wikipedia, a tamale is a traditional Mesoamerican dish made of masa or dough, which is steamed in a corn husk or banana leaf.
Yes.
The wrapping can either be discarded prior to eating the leaf or
We're listening. So, tamales are... I'm sitting in front of the machine.
It said Mesoamerican. It's just like fruit. It could be fruit, meat, or cheese or whatever wrapped in a
A corn husk.
A corn husk.
Corn husk and or dough or corn, like a cornbread.
Judy Quilt says, my Alexa just answered. Yeah, I know. I know. Can you switch back to the desk, Dawn, and we will have the final looky at this.
Desk is up.
Oh, wow.
You can see it better when you put it on the desk. The lighting is just slightly better. Okay, so button here and a button here.
The crack's okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's okay. The cherries are good. I don't even mind this.
No, that looks really
Plants
good.
can be red and the candies. I'm really happy with how this turned out.
I like it.
I can't get over plaid and yellow. I think that's incredible how it looks. And I'm glad I stuck with the yellow for a lot of it for the designs. It's wonderful. So thank you guys for all joining me, because this was super fun to do. A lot of applique and a lot of trimming and one fatal boo-boo.
Oopsie.
Yeah, it happens, but I think our quilt is coming along fine. I think it's fine. Are there any questions, Dawn, or are we good?
I think we're pretty good.
Okay, if you have any questions, then head on over to the OML Embroidery University Facebook group, and there's a lot of people and our amazing helpful mods that can help you through with it. So thanks for joining us, Lynn. It's always a joy having you here. And we'll keep working on her to get an embroidery machine.
Thanks for having me.
I just had to put that in there. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.